up down by the railroad track, shooting BBs at old beer cans. Choking on the smoke from a lucky strike somebody lifted off of his old man. We were football flunkies, southern rock junkies, cranking up the stereos, singing loud and proud to give me 3 steps, Simple Man and Curtis Low. We were good, you know.
All right, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for taking your seats, grabbing those drinks, and making sure they're all full for a wonderful evening. I would like to welcome everybody to the 2026 BBIA Industry Service Award dinner. It's been a fantastic week here at the Sunseeker Resort, and I hope you've all found it productive, enjoyable, and all those other wonderful words that you can think about when you're happy. All right, we're ready to start our evening events. I hope everyone enjoyed your dinner and that huge piece of cheesecake, comparable to the little desserts that we had throughout the day, but that cheesecake was pretty good. It's time for our main event, our Industry Service Award presentation. This year, the BBIA nominated Chuck Gardner for his many years of service to the industry. And tonight, we have Chuck's really good friend and an industry veteran of his own right, Del Warren, who will present Chuck Gardner his award tonight. So please welcome Del Warren.
So those of you know that, because I speak a lot and I can, as Chris would say, Chartrand would say, I can blow pretty good. When Chuck called me, I think it was back in February, and asked me to do this, I thought, well, you know, I'll just wing it like I always do. And as I started to think about how I was going to frame this, I realized it became a little bit more difficult, because I've known this guy for 46 years. And our story is really cool, and it kind of entwines in why he's getting this award. And so what I really appreciate, not only do I get to do this, and I'm certainly honored, and there's a story in here with me, with all of you guys to some degree. I have some of my students in this room, which is kind of weird. It made me think, I told him this today, that made me really think about our life together and where it started. And it made me think about things that I had forgotten, that I really appreciate. I mean, stories that meant a lot to me, stories that were hysterically, had got me to laugh when I thought about some of the stuff, because I really didn't know how to approach this. So I actually have some bullet points here, which I can't remember the last time I spoke that I've needed this. So I want to start with once upon a time. And once upon a time, 46 years ago, there was this group of young junior bowlers in West Palm Beach County that just came out of AJBC, and we all wanted to be pro bowlers. We dreamed about being on Saturday afternoon with Chris Schenkel and Bo, who I just saw a few months ago with Chris. And we all came out together, and we all kind of got our cards together. West Palm Beach was just full of scratch leagues, tournaments on the weekends, and I worked in a pro shop. Kind of living that dream, as some of you have done as well. And we all kind of went together. We got our cards together. We started bowling regionals together. And that's not his background. And he just showed up one day. And I was talking to him, and I'm like, I can't remember where I met you. It must have been probably Fairlanes, but I don't know, like, where did you come from? You know, because he wasn't part of our group. And right away, if you can imagine what he was like when he was 20, 21 years old, he made an impression. Like, you like he was loud, he was arrogant, and he was just a new bowler. He was very opinionated, and he made his way into our group somehow. And he aggravated the hell out of you right away. But the flip side of that is you wanted to be around him. Like he was the life of the party. You couldn't help but have fun with Chuck. And you could tell that right away he fell in love with the sport just like we all did. And he wanted to be a professional bowler. And he reminded me of, we bowled this big scratch league at Garden Lanes. And it was big. Monday nights, Jay Mean, Sam Costa, we all had uniforms and everything. And he was trying to get his card. And back then it was a little bit harder. Lane conditions were tougher. And I think he had to average, he had 189 point something, and he needed to bowl really well that night to get his card. And he told me, and I don't remember, but he said I talked him off a cliff. He couldn't get it off his hand, and he eventually shot a big game the last couple games and got his card. So I appreciate you telling me that, because that's part of this story. So we started, and we ended up bowling regionals together, going on tour. I stayed at his house plenty of times. He was married to Tammy at the time, and I remember when Chucky was born. You know, I held Chucky in my arms about 2 days after he was born. He was with me when I met my first wife, Kelly, who was a heck of a bowler back when we went to Satellite Lanes and what was the name of that bowl? We bowled a 20-game marathon. Yes, we used to bowl 20-game marathon. So it started, we bowled all night. And we were on this journey together. And what's really interesting about he and I, as I got to know him, as you guys know, Chuck is not afraid to tell his opinion. Chuck is not, he's not afraid to defend his friends. He's not afraid to work really hard. And so we all did back then, but we didn't call it work, meaning we wanted to be pro bowlers, so we didn't call it training and practice. I mean, we just showed up and bowled, and we helped each other, and we tried to get better. But we were all on this journey together. It was really, back then I don't think we really appreciated what the tour was back then in regionals, but it was a heck of a time. So somewhere in there I had to get a job outside of bowling, and he was in the car business. He got me a job in the parts department. Probably the worst. I was probably the worst employee in the parts department. He was the new car get ready manager at Oldsmobile in Palm Beach. I was dealing with all the old people coming up to the thing. Hey, do you have this little part thing? And there were no computers. You had to open this book and watch these diagrams. I was absolutely terrible at it. And I was freshly married. We were bowling regionals on the weekends. He would take a brand new car. This guy would take a brand new car off the truck, and we would go to regionals every weekend in a brand new car. I'm not kidding you. And it wasn't even registered. It had plastic on it, right? And so we all went on tour, and some of us did better than others. And through that process, as we kind of figured out, hey, we're not really going to make a living at this, and we got to find something to do. We then ended up kind of business together in a network marketing company. We had that journey together for about 3 years, and we experienced a whole bunch of stuff. And then we got back into bowling. So here we are working together 2 times, and Chuck and Debbie ended up with this bowling center in the middle of nowhere in Franklin, Virginia. And by then I had been divorced. He had got divorced. We actually lived together for a while. In an apartment. We didn't know where to go. And you know, I moved to Virginia, and Dawn followed me. We weren't married. And here we are in the middle of nowhere, and I'm, running the pro shop. I'm the night guy. And he's racing on the weekends. We end up getting married there in this little tiny town. And so they're my boss, right? And so along comes Mo Pinnell, and he ends up getting me a job after we get married. We end up getting a job at AMF. And what's really funny is now that we've worked together, and now he's been my boss, he ends up working at AMF. And I don't remember how you got there, but we work for the same company. And then I end up at track 10 years later. First guy I call, him. Second guy I call, him. So he's my East Coast sales manager. So now we've worked together. He's been my boss, and now I'm his boss. You get to know somebody when you're different facets of your life. And I want to kind of tie this together because we've been through births, divorces, deaths, moving, career changes, boss, both sides. And when I hired this guy, right away he made a difference. Now, if you don't know, and I know there's some folks here from Brunswick, you know his work ethic. And the reason why I hired him first was I just knew that whatever he was going to do, it was going to be top notch. 100% top notch. Now, somewhere along the lines, we hired Brian Purcell. You guys remember Brian Purcell? He's now retired in Florida. And he became the sales manager. Now, you don't know this story. So, 6 months into this, Chuck is driving Brian nuts, as only Chuck can. Okay? Now, what he doesn't know is Chuck's calling me because Brian's driving him nuts. So now I have to mediate between these two guys. Brian's is pretty opinionated himself. And now it's review time. And Brian says to me, I think I'm going to fire Chuck. Kind of caught me off guard. And I said, how come? Well, he's working with the other sales guys, and he's they're calling him and they're not calling me. And he's, training them, and I should be doing that. And he's got all these ideas. And so I let it get out of the system, and I said, Brian, tell you what, let's just wait 24 hours. Let's talk again. And I said, I want you to think about who you're going to get him to replace. Who's going to replace this guy? He's got the whole East Coast, right? He's crushing them. His sales numbers are up. But what Brian's really telling me is, lo and behold, Chuck's a pain in the ass, right? So he comes back and I said, so he's complaining the next day a little bit, and I said, is he right? And he looked at me and I go, is he right? Does he have a solution for every complaint? And Brian didn't have an answer. I said, you know what the answer is. Of course he does. I said, Brian, here's what you got to know about my friend. He cares about the company. He cares about his customer. He cares about our product. And he cares about that we're all successful. Okay? He's a great sales guy. He's been in sales his whole life. He's got 2 other guys that haven't been in sales that long. He's trying to help them. And he's trying to help you. And he looked at me and he goes, yeah, you're right. And I said, yeah. So it's not that he's just complaining. He has solutions. And he does it all the time. I know, you get tired of hearing it. But his heart is in the right spot. So I know I never told you that story. But because I knew him so long, and he's driven me crazy many times as well, okay? What as kids, when you don't have that skill, you take it the wrong way. But as you get older, and especially as a college coach, somebody that's had some employees in my lifetime, you start to appreciate what some people perceive as your weakness, it really is your strength. And so I wanted to tell him that, and I wanted to tell you guys that. Now that I know the folks at Brunswick know that for a fact. And I'm glad I got a chance to be old enough to be able to tell him that, because there's a lot of things that as a young man I really despised about him, but really as an older person, somebody that got more life experience, I admire. And I wish I was a little more like you, to be honest with you. He's very bold, and he's not afraid to talk up, and he doesn't sugarcoat anything. And there's a real beauty to that. And then finally, along comes Deborah. Chuck, I believe, had his pro shop back then, right? And so Chuck and I are very similar in this way. Is we're idea guys and we're execution guys, and we come up with ideas. We don't worry about the hurdles, and we just like, yeah, I got an idea. So in my lifetime, my best Deborah was Brent. You know, he was the guy that said, whoa, you forgot about this and this and this, and we got to measure this and this and this. Well, they're perfect for each other. And so along with Chuck's award, and I saw the comments in the press release, she's the glue to the team. She's the one that allows Chuck to be Chuck. And, you know, it's one thing to be able to go out and do what you do, but there's the business side, there's the matrix side, there's the other side that has to be taken care of, and we're all not great at everything. We have to have those people, and she's perfect. And when somebody needs to be strong, because I've had the wrath of Debbie too, okay? That's not fun, all right? But, you know, of course, you don't think you deserve it at the time, but of course I deserved it. But I hope that she feels tonight she's sharing in this award as well, because she allows Chuck to be the best version of herself. And I'm so proud of you, because and I'm so appreciative because I got to reflect on 46 years of how we ended up together, apart, competitors, on the same team, parallel to each other, got to live the dream of being a professional bowler, all wrapped up into one, Florida, Virginia, the whole thing. And to be standing up here tonight after where we started, and having a lot of our friends here that we've been in business with and been colleagues together has been an amazing experience. And truly, thank you so much for asking me to do this. It's been my honor, my pleasure. I want to welcome this year's award winner and one of my greatest friends of my life, Chuck Gardner.
Wow. It's crazy, right? Thank you, brother. I got to put my glasses on because, like Del said, I had to have some notes too because I'm a disaster. Anybody ever been to one of my seminars I've done? Yeah. So if I didn't have these notes and these glasses on, I think we could be here for a few minutes. And I really want to make sure that you guys enjoy this evening and we get out of here at a reasonable time. Good evening. First, I have to say, when you have a friend like Del for all these years, you never quite know what he's going to say when he gets a microphone. And he does like to say some things when he's got the microphone. Tonight, standing here after that introduction, I'm reminded that none of us get through this life or this journey alone. We all need each other. We need so many different things in our journey. Del, we've shared the lanes, we've shared laughter, struggles, dreams, a few successes too, and more than a few stories. Some of them shouldn't be repeated here. But I would be remiss if I didn't tell one story. And Deb, yeah, can you help me? Thank you. I need a chair for this story. So I need you to picture this. It's early 1980s. And most of you probably don't know this about Del. Del was quite the ladies' man back in the day. Del had a little, he was quite the ladies' man. You talk to him today, you don't really know that, but he was quite the ladies' man. And I remember we were at a Pro-Am many years ago, and I I was already out there standing, waiting. That's one of my first pro-ams I ever bowled because, I was a hack, and they really didn't use me in the pro-ams that often, but Dell was a champion already. And so they used him in the pro-am, and coming out of the locker room, here comes Dell. Gotta picture this, man. Dell's in his white slacks. Don, what color was Ruse?
Red.
Red Ruse. Yep, Dell had his red Ruse on, and he had his name shirt on. And he came out and he had his Mr. T starter kit on. Right? We all had the Mr. T starter kit back then. Any of you guys have Mr. T starter kit back in the 80s? Yeah, Dell did. So did I. I will honestly tell you that I had it too. But I will never forget the first time I ever saw Dell do this, and it became his kind of signature. He walked into the bowler's circle and met his amateurs he was going to be bowling with. And he had this thing about putting his foot up on the chair. Dawn, did he do it? He did it, right? And he kind of did this thing with his chin kind of on his hand. He went, "Hi, I'm Dell. I'm going to be your pro tonight." And I will tell you, it really kind of shook me in a kind of a weird way, right? This guy is my best friend for pretty much most of my life. And he was this guy that did that. Dell, I can't tell you how much I value our friendship. I value it more than you'll ever know. And I love you, bro. It's thank you so much. First thing I want to do is commend the convention staff and the convention committee. You guys did an unbelievable job, and I'm so blessed that you guys invited me to come a couple days early, so I got to really get a feel for all of you amazing people and this wonderful resort. So thank you guys so much for allowing me to come a little bit early. I'm deeply honored to receive this award from the Billiard and Bowling Institute of America. Ron Wood. Where's my man Ron at? Ron Wood, where are you? Oh, over there. Ron, thank you for the countless nominations. I know it was truly something you were inspired to try and make happen. And you talked to the folks and talked to them, and you finally beat them down. You finally wore them down. And so I love you, and all these years, and you're still one of my heroes, man. I bowled my first PBA 300 at his bowling center many, many years ago at Hudson Bowl, and I love you, man. You're a true inspiration to me. The BBIA, you guys represent the manufacturers, suppliers, and leaders, and you guys quietly keep this industry alive. And you have such an important mission. So many times you're just behind the scenes, making things happen and figuring it out for us so that we can still enjoy this sport and the sport we love. And it's so cool that you still recognize service within our industry. And I'm completely honored. Our industry, we value people, we value commitment, and value all the people that give back to our industry. And I thank you very much for doing that. It's super important in our industry, so thank you. When I first started bowling, I never dreamt about awards or anything crazy like that. I dreamt about striking, about competing. I wanted to win lots of titles. I just wanted to do something I loved. I loved bowling, and service and giving back were never on my radar. Obviously, I never thought about that. I thought about trying to survive. Huh, Hakeem? Didn't we? And we just tried to figure out how we're going to survive in a sport we loved. But somewhere along the way, I realized something, and this is kind of crazy. Success in bowling is measured in frames, but success significance in bowling is measured by the people. And that realization changed the trajectory of my life. Del, thank you so much for convincing Mike Albritton at Columbia many years ago to give me my first real pathway into the industry. You offered opportunity before I had any credentials at all. And that kind of belief changes a person forever. So thank you. To Brunswick Bowling, Jim Panici, Tony Mendiola, Brent Perrier, thank you for helping shape the foundation of my career. And to Corey Dykstra, Brian Graham, Bugsy Kelly, and all the people currently at Brunswick, you gave me an opportunity to mentor and coach some of the greatest bowlers in the world. And I will never, ever forget that. Thank you so much. To the additional countless mentors, colleagues, proprietors, manufacturers, and students that helped shape me along the way, tonight's recognition belongs to all of us. So thank you all. I've been incredibly blessed my entire life. Blessed with opportunities, with people who believed in me, with moments that shaped who I am today. And I want you to know, I don't take a single one of those things lightly, ever. I don't take them for granted, not one. Because I understand something now that I didn't always fully see. Those blessings were not really meant for me. They were meant for me to pass on to other people. That's why coaching and mentoring became my why. I really never knew my why until I got the opportunity to become a tour rep and help mold some young people. Because I witnessed something really incredible. A really young bowler stepping up unsure, even saying to me, I hope I can, and walking away believing that I know I can. And I will tell you, when the switch flips, and it's way bigger than bowling, it's belief, it's confidence, and it's life-changing. I got to see a lot of that in my career, and I'm so blessed that I got to do that. I've learned something. Bowling is rarely about mechanics. It's about confidence and resilience. Right, Hakeem? Confidence and resilience. It's belief. It's about learning how to respond when things aren't going your way. Those are the lessons that are translated way beyond the lanes. Brunswick Bowling provided me with a platform to transcend my career and ultimately find what I love doing. And the Brunswick Youth Experience was born. Thank you, guys. In 2013, Deb and I started the Bowl for Life Foundation. Deb has poured her heart, her time, her energy into creating opportunities for young bowlers across the country. She loves building long-term relationships with all the Bowl for Life kids. Together, we've been blessed to award over $826,000 in scholarships to young people. But more importantly, thousands of conversations with junior bowlers, thousands of moments of encouragement, thousands of seeds planted. Bowl for Life never once was about being a foundation. It was about building futures. Deb, none of this happens without you. You're the best. Our industry and business models has changed immensely over the years, hasn't it? Technology has changed us forever. The way young people discover sports has changed. But some things just haven't. People still need mentors. They need encouragement. They still need someone to believe in them. If we want bowling to grow, we can't solely focus on lane condition and equipment innovations. We've got to focus on leadership development, on youth investment, on creating experiences that make people feel seen and valued. That's service, and service sustains industries. So tonight, I want to challenge every manufacturer, every proprietor, every coach, and every executive in this room. Who are we lifting up? Who are you mentoring? Who are you giving that first opportunity to the way one was extended to me? Because the future of bowling is not going to be driven by one superstar. It will be secured by thousands of invested leaders, just like all of you in this room. That's what's going to make our sport great and keep it great. Now, I'm going to do something that might surprise you. I'm going to turn this prestigious industry service award into a brief infomercial, minus the 1-800 number. We won't have one. Because there really is an opportunity here. If you believe in youth, if you believe in mentorship, if you believe that bowling can change lives, like I do, I'm asking you tonight to become a supporter of the Bowl for Life Foundation. And yes, I mean financially. I'm not scared. I am absolutely not scared. Here's the part that matters. It's not about anybody in here writing an oh my goodness check. But imagine if every person in this room gave it a level that is enough to feel it, but not enough to lose sleep over it. Together we could hit the Bowl for Life goal of $1 million given to young people to help them with their futures this year still. This is an opportunity to help one of our future leaders with their educational expenses. Because 100%, I'm going to say that again, 100% of every dollar we have ever raised has been given back to a child or a young person in the form of a scholarship to help them with their education. 100% of every dollar. We talk about growing the game. Well, this is how we grow it. Not just through equipment and technology, but by investing in young people who will one day sit in these very chairs that you guys are in today. To everyone else, now, excuse me, I'm sorry I got ahead of myself. For those of you that have supported Bowl for Life from the beginning, many of you in this room, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means so much to us. It means the world to us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't tell you enough. To everyone else, this is your moment to join the Bowl for Life mission. So consider this a gentle but sincere nudge. No flashing lights or limited time offers. So if you're ready, that lady right there in the black, Deb, will be more than happy to take your money tonight. When I look back on my career, the proudest moments are not any of these awards. I am so thankful that I've gotten so much recognition in this wonderful sport of ours. It's crazy, and I'm so blessed. They're the text messages from former students, the parents who say thank you, the young adults who tell me that something that they learned on the lanes or during one of our many talks helped them navigate something in their life. That's impact. That's legacy. And that's worth more than any trophy that you could ever get. To BBIA, thank you so much for recognizing service. To my colleagues and friends in this room, I love you guys. I respect you so much. And thank you for sharpening me and challenging me and supporting me and making me be accountable for everything I've ever had to do. I appreciate it. To my family, I'm not shit without you. Thank you for sharing me with the sport I love. I love you guys. Sorry. Let me close with this. Bowling teaches us something powerful. Every single shot is a new opportunity. You can't change the ball you threw, and you never can rewrite the frame you just bowled. But you can step up for the next shot. Step up for the next chapter of the book of your life. Our industry as a whole can step up for the future of our sport. And if you don't hear anything I say tonight, please hear this. If we continue to lead with service, mentorship, generosity, sincerity, and most importantly, passion, the next generation will not only inherit bowling, they'll elevate it. Thank you for this incredible honor. Sorry I'm acting like a little baby right now, but let's keep serving, keep building, and keep believing in what this sport can do. Not just for competition, but for the character we build in the people that compete. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Wow.
That's all I could do.
People often ask me why I chose bowling as a career. If you just listen to what Chuck just said, is exactly the reason why I chose it. Because it's the best industry that we have in the world. I'm honored to give you this award on behalf of the BBIA, the 2026 Industry Service Award. Congratulations, Chuck. All right, on that note, I would like to take this time to thank everyone for attending this year's convention and encourage you to join us again in 2027 convention. We're going to get that figured out soon. Please enjoy the remainder of your evening, and thank you for attending 2026 here at Sunseeker. Thank you.
Well, we grew up down by the railroad track, shooting BBs at old beer cans. Choking on the smoke from a Lucky Strike somebody lifted off of his old man. We were football flunkies, Southern rock junkies, cranking up the stereos, singing loud and proud to give me 3 steps, Simple Man and Curtis Slow. We were good, you know. Got some discount knowledge at the junior college where we majored in beer and girls. It was all real funny till we ran out of money and they threw us out into the world. Yeah, the kids that thought they'd run this town ain't running much of anything. Just loving and laughing and busting our asses, and we call it all living the dream. But these are my people, this is where I come from. We're giving this life everything we've got and then some. It ain't always pretty, but it's real. It's the way we were made, wouldn't have it any other way. These are my people. Well, we take it all week on the chin with a grin till we make it to a Friday night. And it's church league softball, holler about a bad call, preacher breaking up a fight. Then later on at the Green Light Tavern, well, everybody's gathering as friends, and the beers are pouring till Monday morning, and we start it all over again. And these are my people, this is where I come from. We're giving this life everything we've got and then some. It ain't always pretty, but it's real. It's the way we were made, wouldn't have it any other way. These are my people. We fall down and we get up. We walk proud and we talk tough. We got heart and we got nerve. And even if we are a bit disturbed, woo, come on.
As long as I got you, as long as I live.